Sorry, yeah, we executed an American citizen, and you just kind of have to take our word for it that he had it coming. This we have to talk about. Family of Provo man in Utah was killed because Brandon's got shooters out there. That's right, the FBI. We already know it. We already know what happened. A man, a beautiful, bold, patriotic man, wanted to exercise his First Amendment rights. He posted a little too close to the sun and said he's going to kill Joseph Robinette Biden with his M24 rifle that he dusted off in his ghillie suit. And for that, he did everything right, and the FBI killed him. However, the story doesn't end there. Turns out his family are also of the same mindset that First Amendment should have covered genuine threats to famous politicians.
Seeing a Provo home now clear after a
deadly
FBI shooting there yesterday.
Tonight, we are learning more about Craig Robertson, the man who allegedly made credible threats to President Joe Biden's life. And for the first time, we are hearing from Robertson's family. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Heidi Hatch.
And I'm Mark Cabell. Glad you are with us tonight. We start with 2 News team coverage for you, digging a little bit deeper into that Provo incident from yesterday.
Jim is live at the airport following the president's departure. And joining us in studio this night is a former FBI agent, Carl Schmay, who will be sharing his insight on this case and what happens next.
Yeah, first, though, Ariel is back in Provo tonight where all this went down. Ariel, community members are still pretty shocked by what happened there yesterday.
That's right. The investigative teams have since cleared the area that happened just earlier this afternoon. But this is the first time we are getting an up-close look at the home. Someone's left flowers here. Then if you follow me this way, you can see that the window is boarded up on Craig Robertson's home. Now, this video you should be seeing was taken by neighbors. It shows federal agents outside Robertson's home early yesterday morning attempting to execute a search warrant. Leading up to President Biden's visit, the FBI stated Robertson's social media activity was threatening towards him, along with other government officials. Details about that altercation between Robertson and the FBI have not been released, but according to the Associated Press, Robertson was armed. One Provo community member hopes to see more answers and soon about what led up to the shooting.
How did this escalate? How did they end up killing him? Did they identify themselves when they showed up?
What, in your mind, is a reasonable timeline to get answers?
Well, they should be able to answer pretty darn quickly since the guy is dead. I mean, I'm thinking we should have some serious information already.
Now coming out for a live look here at the scene that they've cleared of Robertson's home. The woman we just heard from says she doesn't agree with those death threats, but says she has concern about the FBI coming to Robertson's home and shooting him. Now we posted
Stop spelling come. It's illegal. The FBI will come to your house.
Shared about the incident up to this point on our website, along with the joint statement released from Robertson's family just today. Again, that's all on KUTV.com right now. Reporting live in Provo, Ariel Harrison, KUTV 2 News.
All right, Ariel, thank you very much. To get a little more perspective and some FBI protocol insights into what happened yesterday in Provo, we have former FBI agent Carl Schmay with us today.
That's right. Carl is a security consultant and retired FBI agent. Thanks for coming in to speak with us today. We unfortunately see all too often officer-involved shootings, and we know the protocols after that happens where after about 10 days, usually we have videotape released. Eventually, we'll hear the district attorney go through the case and talk about what happened. In the case of the FBI, what's the next step, and when will the public know exactly what happened that morning and maybe what went wrong?
So this is going to be handled a little bit differently, Heidi. So this is going to be handled internally by the FBI. There's an inspection division out of the FBI headquarters, so they send people here to conduct a review. There's not going to be any body cam video. Agents don't wear body cam.
Let me just ask you and play devil's advocate, because I just heard the lady who was a neighbor.
Interesting.
They should be able to figure this out pretty quickly. The guy's dead. It doesn't happen that way, but does that make the FBI suspect? Because really, there's no outside agency that's going to come and look into.
Dude, I'm sorry. Local news being this aggro about like a dude who was killed by law enforcement only happens when the fucking only happens when the fucking law enforcement assassinated dude is like a massive hog. Okay, that's crazy. These guys basically fall on top of one another every goddamn day. They're tripping over one another to be the first to justify police brutality and police killings, unless it's a fucking hog that's in the crosshairs. Now they're like, oh, isn't that a little suspect? What's going on with that? Oh, a little weird that an assassination for Joe Brandon happened here. It's awesome.
to your agency. What's your answer to that criticism?
You know, I've seen several shooting reviews. They're very thorough. I mean, literally, there will be a report about this thick that's going to go over all aspects. So.
And you were a SWAT member of the FBI, were you not?
I was on the SWAT team for 10 years. Actually, on that SWAT team for 10 years.
So you know you know the process. Then.
I know the process. Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of process, what happened yesterday is part of a long story that goes all the way back to March.
It's sad because, like, I do agree with the news media on this, where it's like, what are you not gonna fucking reveal body camera footage? Like, we have to take your word for it. Like, that seems a bit crazy. They're like, yeah, sorry, yeah, we executed an American citizen, and you just kind of have to take our word for it that he had it coming. It's like, okay, well, that seems wild. Fine. He's like, don't worry. I have done this on this FBI SWAT team many times. I killed a lot of people. It was always valid. It's just crazy because I do think that guy had it coming, okay? Just for the record. And I know for a motherfucking fact that local media would not cover it that way if it was like an unarmed black teenager. You know what I mean? Sinclair Broadcasting has never covered police brutality or even pointed to police brutality of this sort. Crazy.
Starts with him posting online some things I think a lot of people might voice out loud, or anger or frustration, but then it took a turn from a First Amendment rights speech maybe to something where the FBI shows up at your porch. What happened where he crossed the line in your mind from First Amendment rights to making clear threats?
That's a great question, Heidi. So there were actually some earlier posts that he had made last year saying things like death to Biden with a picture of a skull. That kind of language, even though a lot of us would think, that's not very civil, it's not very nice, that's going to be protected. In March, what crossed the line is when he made a very specific threat that he was going to New York to kill the district attorney, Alvin Bragg.
And it was pretty graphic, they said about that. Fast forward to what happened yesterday. FBI.
Yeah, Brandon is such a pussy. Like, Trump straight up got the marshals to execute that guy from Portland and then bragged about it. Like, remember when Trump bragged about marshals literally executing a dude? Not even like a search warrant or anything. They just straight up were like, yeah, kill this guy. And then they went and killed him. Kind of wild, actually. The reason why they killed him in the street was because he fucking popped like a Proud Boy at a Portland rally where the Proud Boys were, causing a fucking commotion too. Insane. Trump still brags about it, really? Wouldn't be shocked.
FBI agents were on his porch fairly early in the morning. A lot of people are asking, why go surprise someone and catch them off guard when they might be angry or wondering if someone's breaking into their house? Why does it work like that in an operation where they're there so early in the morning?
So the FBI wants the tactical advantage of surprise. So a lot of times people are sleeping at that time of the morning. So ideally you can catch them before they can take any sort of action. And in this case, Mr. Robertson had
yeah, we like to catch them while they're sleeping so we can kill them in their sleep. That's why we do it. So we can execute you in your sleep. It's called the greatest window for assassination is when one is sleeping. I mean, that's what we've done. That's what we did to Fred Hampton, and that's what we did to this fucking guy.
Said he was going to be armed and waiting for the FBI if they ever came back to his house.
So you had that. They had that in their minds as they were going there to. Now, were they going there to make an arrest or serve a search warrant?
So this complaint says it's for an arrest warrant, and I think there was going to be a search conducted concurrently as well.
Just to see what was in that house based on some of the statements he made.
Exactly. And I think what's interesting to note is that he was visited by the FBI in March. In my experience, when most people are visited by the FBI, that's enough to get them to kind of knock off their behavior.
Right.
But in this case, he escalated.
Not this guy.
He started making threats against the agents. And then this week, he really kind of took it to another level when he made threats against the president as the president was coming to Utah.
Okay, we got to let you go. Last question. Did the president know about any of this? You don't?
I'm sure he was briefed.
Okay.
And the Secret Service certainly would have been aware of this.
All right.
And we know that investigation could possibly take months. When we get that, we'll come back and talk to you a little bit about what they found and exactly what happened there at that home.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Carl.